episode of Market Grinders. I'm Anthony. I just want to go over some quick free software you guys can use for charting your trades. Charting is very important. Charting shows you your entry points and your exit points. The software that we'll be previewing today is called TradingView. It's a free version, and I'm using the free version here. The free version does have some ads, of course. You can pay if you want, some additional features or to just eliminate the ads, but the ads don't bother. They don't bother me at all. So once you download the TradingView app, and this is at tradingview.com if you're using it on your PC. So before I actually chart, just want to go over some just how to navigate through the actual screen. So one thing you'll see, we have a toolbar across the top. We'll talk about this first box here. You see GOOG. That is actually the ticker symbol that we're looking at right now. That's Google. If you look here where the hand icon is, that shows you that we're looking at Google. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click in Google and say we want to look at Apple. Just backspace Apple, backspace out Google and type in Apple. So we see Apple. Now the Apple chart pops up. So now that we have the Apple chart, we'll go and we'll take a look at the time period. So right now we're looking at a day chart. You can roll it out to a week. You can do 1 month, and if you see how this chart is kind of squished up, you can roll this chart out. You can open it up by just scrolling with your mouse, and it'll open the chart up for you. Let me close the ad at the bottom, and you can also 1 day, 5 day, if you follow me at the bottom of the screen, 1 day, 5 day, 1 month, 6 month, year to date. So let's open it up to a 6 month chart. So we're looking at Apple over the last 6 months. Getting into the charting function. So another thing that you can do after you select your ticker symbol that you want to look at, you can actually do compare. So what this feature is useful for if you want to compare two different stocks. So right now we have Apple on the screen. I've clicked the compare button, and now you see I got Microsoft, the SPX, NDQ, and I can search anything I want in here. Say if I want to search AMD. So now AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, come up. So I can click on Advanced Micro Devices, close this screen out, and now you see I have two charts. I have AMD and I have Apple. You can see the two charts look a little different, and the reason they look different is because Apple is a candlestick chart, and AMD is a line chart, and you have total control over what kind of chart you want to look at. So say if I I don't want to compare the two, in a comparison just to show how high or low Apple has gone in comparison to AMD. And if I wanted to say close out AMD or Apple, whichever one, I can go to the AMD chart. Since that was the last one I opened up, you see here it says AMD. I can click X, and it takes AMD off, and it just shows the Apple chart. So again, just to recap, this symbol search is just a toolbar that you can actually search for the particular ticker symbol that you're looking for. Here is a time frame. You can basically itemize the time frame that you want to look at a certain stock on. And this is our actual the I would call this the chart pattern. So right now we're looking at a candlestick or chart type. Sorry, not chart pattern, chart type. We're actually looking at a candlestick chart. So if I want to look at a line chart, I would turn it to a line chart, and you can see the chart has changed. For beginning investors, there's only 3 charts that I would normally look at, and it would be the bar chart, which we're looking at here, the hollow candle chart, which we're looking at here, and then the line chart. As you guys get more advanced and do a little more studying and researching, some of those other charts may be effective for you, but you don't have to master all of these charts. So so I look at Apple, right? So once I determine the company I want to look at, I normally pull up my line chart. Now, what I want to do is I want to highlight my support lines. So support lines, when we talk about support lines, we're looking at the bottoms, like how far has Apple fallen down? How far has Apple fallen? How far has Apple fallen? How far has Apple fallen? You know, before they rebound. This is a to be a good investor, and a good investor is somebody who makes money in the stock market. I think you have to be a master charter. You should take the time to really understand charts and understand how to chart out patterns. So, and it doesn't take a lot of time, and you don't have to utilize a lot of skills. It's as simple as this, right? So if I'm looking at Apple, I want to chart the support, which means the bottoms, and I go over here and I'll grab my trend line. I will click the trend line, and what I would do, I will come over and I will click, this was a bottom. This was a bottom as well. This is a bottom also. So I look for about 3 different points. 1, 2, 3 as a minimum, but I'm gonna go 4 on this chart. And actually, we'll start over, and I'll chart actually starting at this bottom, 2, 3, and then our top is up here. So and you just click twice, and you can actually put down this actual trend line. So from there, you can just grab this trend line. You can move it all over the place. So, but what you want to do is you want to kind of line it up with your bottom support areas. Now, and like I said, support is an area. You see I have an edit icon here. If I wanted to, I can edit the color of that line. I could edit the size of that line. If those things are helpful. If not, no biggie. So I can scroll over, and it gives me more visibility, and that's just me using the mouse to scroll left or right. If I scroll up and down, it kind of pulls the chart out. Sometimes that's helpful, but this is just all about personal preference, how you look at the chart, and how the chart makes more sense to you. So basically, this red line that I just drew basically shows my support. It shows where Apple has bottomed out at. I have a 6-month chart up. Of course, I didn't chart the entire 6 months. I'm only charting from probably around November 8th up to current, which is today's December 11th, I think. So that's what we're looking at now, and that's all you need to look at, like where we are, and then about a month or so behind that. So now once I have my bottom line in, or my baseline or support line, the next thing that I want to draw is my resistance line. And again, we've gone over resistance a couple times, so I go back and I grab one of my trend lines. And resistance is the same way. I just look at where the stock hit before it fell back down. It hit here, which is around the 164 mark. It hit here around the 170 mark, and then is currently showing around 179. And Apple is, that was the last close on Friday. 179 is where Apple closed at. So again, I can, being that this is my resistance line, meaning that Apple hasn't broken out past this, I can, make this just for my purposes. I'll just make it green, right? So now, and you can do this with any stock, and you should do this with any trade that you're looking to get into. So now, so this red line shows me that if I'm thinking about, the way I should think now is, at what price should I get into Apple? Now, a couple of things that factor into when you get in. One is, what type of trade are you looking at? If you're looking for a long-term trade, you're looking to hold Apple for 5 to 10 years, this trend line is not as important. If you're looking to get in and get out, sort of like a option play, then the trend line is important. So and I'll speak from a option standpoint. So I see that Apple has, and there are other things involved in selecting the trade as well, but we're currently just going over the chart. So I see here where Apple is at resistance. You never want to buy at resistance when you're thinking about short-term trades like options trades, because the thing about resistance is, if you look at this historical pattern, it hits resistance and then it falls back down. It goes back up, it hits resistance, and then it falls back down. It goes back up, it hits resistance, and then if you think about this pattern, it will fall back down. So we want to buy at support. So just looking at this chart, it looks like from a support standpoint, we would probably be safe buying Apple around, at least 174. And me personally, for a short-term options trade, I would also look at this support level and this support level. This support level more so because it's more prominent, and this is around the 160 mark. So with this being said, me personally, if I was going to make a trade on Apple, I would purchase it once it fell back down to around 160 if I was going to make a short-term trade. Because two things that we see, right? We don't know how high Apple can go in the short term, and we don't know if it's going to go up or going to go down. But Apple may take off from here and go to $200 from here. So you got to be patient, right? So if it goes to $200, fine. The people that were in it, they made money. If you weren't in it, no biggie. You didn't lose any money either. Let me organize this support line a little bit. It's so we'll make this trend line a bit more smoother so you guys can kind of get the gist of what's going on. So in what you have here, we kind of see a channel. This is what we'll call a trading channel. Let's put it out the bar right here. You just want to be as close to the support and resistance lines as you can. So as I look at this trading channel, it is a upward trending stock, which is great to see. But this is not the area you want to purchase your stock in. You always want to purchase your stock. Again, you get ads here, so but no biggie. You always want to purchase your stock at the bottom of the channel. That gives you the best opportunity to get into a winning trade. So now, as I think about Apple as a trade, and you guys as well, you should be waiting for Apple to pull back. 169 is a decent place to purchase your trade. That's about $10 off of the high. I love the 160 mark also, and that's on a call if I want to make money on Apple going up. On a put, you could actually you want to buy at the top of the range when you're purchasing a put, and a put is stating that I expect this stock to drop down in price. But one thing that I, one thing about trading is you have to have principles and you have to have standards that you stick to. Um, if a stock is in an upward channel, I normally don't place put options on those kind of stocks. Those are just things that I stick to. It just prevents you from losing. So I can place a put here, and the stock takes off and goes to 200, and I end up losing money. If I'm only thinking about purchasing at call, because at this point I do think Apple will go to, with the news and a lot of other things that are going on, I do think Apple will go up to close to 200. But what I want to do is I want to be patient and wait for it to pull back to around 160, 170, and then ride it back up to 200. So another thing to think about too, the bottom of the channel. The bottom of the channel is 147. So be mindful that Apple can fall as low as 147, even further. And me being realistic about it. So the things to keep in mind is you want to wait. That's why patience is the biggest key in investing. If you wait until it pulls back to around the 160 mark, and it's fine. Some people buy it there, but if you get it and actually this is 165 actually, and wait till it get to the 160, even better. If it drops down to the 150, 156, load the boat, buy even more, and then just wait the time out for the run up. But all that is patience. Is patience for you waiting for this stock to come down from this level to this level. And the second portion of it is patience for it to get back up to that level. So when you're buying your call options, make sure you purchase enough time. But going over the charts again. So once you or actually not only the charts and the trend line. So once you have your trend lines drawn, honestly, this is enough information right here for me to put down my entry price and my exit price. So one thing you can do in this app, it's an app, and you can do it on your desktop. You can create an alert. Just click the create alert button, and you can actually put a price target that you want this to be triggered at, and you'll get if you have it on your phone, you'll get a message or email, depending on how you have it set up. It'll let you know when Apple is at that target price. Or once you set your target price, you can actually go into whichever app you're trading on, if Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, or whatever. You can go in there and you can actually set up your own alert, so that it'll actually buy it, or you can set up a limit order and actually buy it. Some other good features about this particular software here is back to indicators. So another thing that investors use are indicators. So we'll click on indicators, and one good indicator is Bollinger Bands, or Bollinger Bands, however people want to announce it. And you just click on indicators and start typing the words, and they'll pop up. So, and you can actually make these your favorite. So now it automatically is saved under my favorite, so I don't have to keep pulling it up. So Bollinger Bands, I'll click on Bollinger Bands, and as you can see, it actually puts my Bollinger Bands in, and shows my moving averages. So and these are things that help investors understand breakouts when a stock starts to break out. But I'll do another training on Bollinger Bands. But going back to the navigation, if I wanted to erase this or take this off of the screen, I can go back here where it says BB 20 close. So and all this stuff means something as far as the moving averages that we're watching here. So I can close this out, and it takes me back to my original chart. So I can actually again go back into charts and go to my candle chart. And I like candles because the candles actually show where we finished, where we started, and actually where we finished on the day, and it gives some additional signal. So really looking at this chart, Apple looks like it's actually getting ready to break out. But in the current environment that we're in, Apple could pull back. So um, I trade on the side of caution, right? So I would rather wait for a pullback and then buy the breakout. But if we have been watching this chart, in which I'm a long-term owner of Apple, if we have been watching this chart, around the 147 mark, I mean, in the options, whoever bought those 147 strikes, I mean, man, they're looking like a genius right now. They made a lot of money, about a $20 move, so that's probably a 200 to 300% move on your options contract. So those are some of the things that help understand how to trade your options. Um, another tool here is financials. So this software actually gives you, if you click on financials, it actually gives you access to income statements, balance sheets, cash flow, and other statistics that are helpful in making decisions as they pertain to a particular stock. If you look down here at the bottom, you'll see a D and you'll see a E. You can click on these things, and this D shows dividends. Apple does pay a dividend. It shows when Apple's last dividend and the payment date was. This is earnings, and this shows Apple's last earnings and the results of those earnings. So great tools. Another great thing in this trading platform, and you guys see there's a ton of things down the side that we can use too. So this is just text, right? So you can just bring in a text box and type in. So I'm just typing in Apple chart, and this is just so if you're gonna really take trading serious, you have to understand charts. So what one thing that I do is you just practice charting. So you just bring up any chart and then just practice drawing support and resistance lines. So one thing this tool has is just text, right? So I can type in text. I can put notes in about this chart. I can just add things for future reference so I can learn this whole process. I mean, the whole thing about the trading in the market is learning it. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to get in there. You have to do the work, and you have to continue to learn and make yourself better and better over time. So the text tool actually just helps with putting in notes, right? So Apple was a uptrending chart, right? So you could go back even if you didn't get in on this trade on this go around. You can go back in a month or two and see if you even charted it right. So I would just start there. Just am I charting it right? And to take it off, just click on it and hit delete. So another thing, a great tool here is the take a snapshot. So I can just click the take a snapshot, and what happens there is it actually I can save this chart, I can copy the chart, I can copy a link to this chart. I can open it in another tab, and I can, save this on my hard drive. I can save it, send it to, say if I have a trading partner, right? I'm trying to understand the markets better. They're telling me to start with charting. I can take a screenshot of this chart, and that's all you're doing, taking a screenshot in a sense of this chart. Send it to someone. Actually, you can send it to me. You can take a screenshot, send it to me, and Anthony, did I chart this right? I think this is and you can put your notes in. I think this is an upward trending pattern. I think my entry price should be, so we'll go back to putting in notes, right? So I would do something like this on this chart. I would say this is if I can type today, Apple chart, entry would be 160. Then I would do things like my entry point, exit on this particular chart. I would do like a 170. And then if I had looked at an option chain, I will put in additional information about the options chain. I also like to put the I'm wrong. So I'm wrong means that if I get into my entry price of 160 and it drops down to say 150, that's a $10 drop. Honestly, I wouldn't even hang around. I wouldn't hang around for a $10 drop. I would probably say my I'm wrong level is 157, right? So if it drops down to 157, after I've purchased that option, I have to say I'm at my I'm wrong level. So, and at that point, I need to make a decision. Do I purchase more because I do think that the stock at some point will increase in value, or do I cut the trade? And all that's based on my options contract. Did I buy enough time? How much time I have in the trade? What kind of news is going on with Apple? So that's just another level for me to make an additional decision. So and those are the things that I can just I'll just add this stuff to my chart, and as I go back and look at my charts over time, during the week, to see, okay, what trades am I getting in next week? Oh, Apple is getting close, or Apple's taking off outside of this actual trading range. So then I may start looking at another level of support and resistance for Apple, or if it goes too far out at that point, then I may start looking at some call options. But then you have other things like, and then of course to take it off, like I said, you just click on it and hit delete, and it takes that text off. You have the other things like emojis. You can add emojis in here, and that's just like say for instance, if I want to put arrows to show my support level. So that's support level. That's a support level. That's a support level. And those are just I would actually, and what I would do with that, I would turn that green, because if you guys remember 30 seconds ago, I said you want to buy at support. So these are the places you want to be buying Apple at, and then vice versa, you can also do things like this, right? These are your I wish you guys were live so I can you guys can I can answer some questions for you. You guys can answer my question, but these are your what? Resistance levels. So resistance is where you sell. All right. So red, you want to sell on red, you want to buy on green. So basically, if I bought Apple here, I would want to be selling it here. You want to be selling it here. So so hopefully that was helpful. Another great way to look at charting is if you take your support, or I'm sorry, your resistance line, and just move it up. It'll actually act as a guide to help you understand like how far can Apple go, right? If this trend continues. So if we pull back and Apple bounces off of support, the next resistance level for Apple is going to be around the 182 mark. So and then if I look at my time for the 182 mark, that puts me, out into, I'm looking at the bottom of the screen now, that puts me out until January. So if you hear people saying, oh, Apple will be at, I said 181, hopefully I said 182, not 132. If I said 132, I meant 182. When you hear people making these price predictions about Apple, fundamentals are involved in it too, right? So people have looked at financials as well, but from a charting standpoint, they've actually looked at like where did this pattern look like it's gonna go. So this is like your brush tool. You can actually kind of draw with your brush tool. So if Apple comes down here, it looks like it can bounce back up to about right here based on, and I'll make this a little bigger so we can see it. Let's make this color green. So it looks like if Apple comes back down to the 170 area, it can actually bounce back up to the, why this is in my way. So USD stays there. So it looks like we can potentially bounce up to the actually 184.70 mark. So you'll hear people make predictions on stock prices. That's how a lot of guys do it that use more charting than fundamentals. They look at the pattern. So around 184 is what we're looking at, and I think Apple can definitely hit the 184 mark. So of course this was for training purposes and informational purposes, but I mean take full advantage of this, right? So if you guys thinking about getting an Apple, look at these buy zones. So next buy zones around 170. Of course, if it drops a little lower, I'm definitely buying in. I have my money set to the side, ready to go. Not telling you guys what to do, but a great opportunity to make some money in Apple. But again, as a long-term trader, you should be buying Apple once a month. Figure out a way to buy Apple once a month, at least for 5 years, as if you're, you're buying a used car. People finance a used car for 5 years. Go ahead and finance you some Apple for 5 years. I guarantee you'll be happy you did it, right? So so I hope all that was helpful. There are a couple other tools over here. Not that we don't need them, but really that's all you need to understand how to trend your stocks. So again, hopefully this information was super helpful for you guys. Continue to follow the page. Let me know. So if that I'll link the actual page on the YouTube channel. I may put it on Facebook as well. Guys, make sure you download it. You should be doing, if you're serious about creating wealth over a period of time, you should be doing at least 50 charts per month, saving them, getting somebody to review them for you. Like I said, you can take some snapshots. I don't mind. Send them to me. Message me on Facebook or send them to me on the YouTube channel. I'll take a look at them and let you know if you're charting right, if you're going in the right direction, if you're setting up your trades correctly. But this is really the secret sauce. If you guys can master this, you'll make money in the market. So again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. If there's any additional trainings you guys want to get a little more information on, just let me know. So for instance, like the Bollinger Bands, those things that they help as well. But we'll do that on another trade. But again, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for your time. Happy trading and keep grinding.